What's up, guys? Matt at Performance Fab. Gonna step in and do a little update on Devin's car. I think we're on part 3. He rode up today, so we're gonna show him all what we've done and kind of just keep you guys in the loop on this. So let me flip this around and show you where we're at. All right, so for starters, you can see we got the front end on. We did something a little different. We saw a guy we know, Wastegate fabricator. He did a slider front end on a New Edge car that has latch in the front and some sliders or some receivers in the back. So after Devin saw that, he wanted to do something similar. So we're trying to make this thing clean looking. I mean, it's a street car, so we don't want a bunch of fasteners on it. Although it does look like Pinhead from Hellraisers at the moment with all the Clecos on it. Most all that'll go away. Actually, all of it will go away, besides some of these will be fasteners that you won't see that are black, but all the other ones will go away. So let me show you. So we did split the bottom, so this part will stay fixed to the car all the time. That way we don't have to fight the downpipes when we're taking the front end off. But then you can kind of, I'll show you better once we get it off, but I just wanted to kind of show you how it's all together. But if you see here and up here, that's a receiver groove, and then we got a mount that's on the front end that just slides together and it locks it in place, and you can fornicate on that. I believe it's pretty solid. But I guess let's pull this thing off and show them. It's not too bad. We're still working out some of the little tweaks and bugs on it, but like I said, there's just basically a latch on the bottom, just like this is a legit street car, man. It's got a hood latch.
So there's your hood latch.
Just slides loose.
Slides loose, then you grab your
He's got this fancy suction cup.
$42 suction cup.
There you go. If you want to sit her.
Now, and avoid the dog.
Easy there, Max.
Max don't care at all. He don't care.
You all right, buddy? It's hot today, isn't it? Felt better last week.
And the front end's off.
But yeah, so let me show you now that the front end's off, kind of. So I machined these bushing kind of deals. So it's a 1-inch tube. Took some 1-inch aluminum stock, machined them down so they would slip in, drilled and tapped them just to locate it so we can replace them. We're thinking about getting them made in like a UHMW or a Teflon or a Darylin or whatever kind of self-lubricating material, just where it'll have a little more, so it don't try to bind or gall or anything on that. So if you know anybody that can make us, whip us up some of those, I'm going to do some of that here soon. And then that's that side. Let me show you the car. Make sure I don't whack it.
Oh, he ain't moving.
But yeah, so this is the male side. Just got 2 male receivers that slide right in, and then you can kind of see that's the latch down there. We got a little bit more bracing to do, but that's just trying to get the main structure there so it all works. So
the important part about this, what we did is we referenced a couple of Coyote people videos to reference it for size. So if y'all are wondering how long this should be, just look downstairs. You know what I mean? If you got a Coyote, you'll find it.
It's perfect depth.
You know,
I think it engages like 1.25 inches, inch and a half, something like that.
I'll tell you, 3 inches at 100 miles an hour is so crazy. You know?
But yeah, so I don't know if you don't know, most one pieces go on the front end with a fork like this. So you have a tree in the front end and it slides into here, and that's actually what locks it in place. And typically that's all you have is this and then a couple of fasteners in the back. We're trying to, like I said, trying to avoid fasteners. So now it still locks in the same way, but it's also sliding in a groove there. Now it can't lift in the back. And then it's just a striker on the front and just with a latch. Just pretty simple actually. But Jared Tucker was the one that did it recently. Larry Larson did it years ago on his Cadillac, but it was a little bit different setup, but similar at the same time.
Yeah, and Jared Tucker owns Anal Barn Motorsports, in case you're wondering. This fab working on Anal Barn.
Right.
So,
but like I said, here's a street car. This screams street setup.
Yeah. This is so this was the GTD, the 2017. They threw away this rendition just because nose weight really was the problem, right? So, and they were worried about cornering capabilities, but we decided to kind of revive the original 2017 GTD rendition that Ford had, and I think it's coming out good.
So let me show you. So I think the last one we started the headers, and we weren't quite finished yet, but we got they're done now. We got EGTs on. We finished welding the inside of the collectors, and then once we got all that done, we started working our hot pot, getting it tied in and welded up all the way. It's kind of aggravating when you're building this stuff. You can't just fit it and weld it and forget it, because it won't fit. So we typically will weld out everything except for one V-band and then put it back on, just because it's going to move. This stainless just moves. If you weld stainless or ever have, you see what everything moves, but stainless is the worst. So we basically did that and got it on. Last one on, went ahead and welded, tacked it in place, welded it out, and then we moved to the downpipes next. After we had to make a frame to mount the bottom of the fender, which kind of doubled as our mount, our lower mount. But so after we did that, we went ahead and did the downpipes. Put the cross bolts in it, just for rule purposes and safety, I guess.
Yeah, so these are necessary for the, when you run the Chinese turbos, you absolutely need these. But so many Honda boys have blown up so much stuff at some of the big races like World Cup, that these are now mandated for containment. So when I run HPT turbos, anything can break.
Right.
These don't.
Right.
But anything can break. You know what I mean? Anybody's turbos can break. But the idea here is that these bolts go through this tube and will catch this instead of killing someone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that thing's spinning probably, what, 70, 80,000
about
RP?
80,000,
Yeah.
about 80,000, 85, 90,000, somewhere around there.
So that will do some damage,
Yeah.
if it was to come off.
Yeah, it comes out, not too long ago, went through somebody's RV at Ducks Race. Yeah, it made it about 300 foot, and a wheel came apart, and it came out the exhaust, it came out of the body, and it went through the wall of an RV and landed in somebody's RV. It was insane. So I think after that was one of like the eye openers where people were like, we gotta do something. So where do those come from?
Those are from Shear Fab.
Okay, so Shear Fab makes them?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep.
It's another made in America company, you know what I mean?
Yeah, those are Shear Fab. I'm trying to think of what else we got. But yeah, so after we did the downpipe, we started plumbing the wastegate. This is the same gates that were on the convertible. It's just Turbo Smart 60s. Mm-hmm. And I like to tie them back in. I like it. It's cleaner look to me.
Yeah.
But it also kind of adds some support too to that wastegate. So now it's tied off, and it's not just dangling out there by itself. So yes. I like to put a slip in if I can, but we're super limited on space. That way I have some more movement, but I believe we'll be fine on this deal.
When we first talked about this, I was like, hey, do you think we need to have a support, maybe through here or something? But the reality of it is that in the past, when this thing's hanging, way out, all the loads down here, but it's so tight here that it's kind of already supported for you.
Yeah, and we got,
what I mean?
right, it's tied into 2 points, two different points.
So it's not something we got to worry about. But just, might throw it out there for people watching that, like, if they got this thing as a hog leg hanging off, 12 inches,
right,
off the header,
And I really like using the cast ones that Motion sells. It don't work when they're real tight like this. It's just, It's got a preset angle and everything, but so this usually works out pretty well. I think the last one we also showed, we had the air jacks mocked up and limiters mocked up, and the reason we went ahead and did that is they're finished now, but I wanted to snake the charge pipe through them. I could come over the top, but I was trying to keep this area open to get the plugs, valve covers off, not having to fight anything. So we started with 3.5 inch, and Race Part Solutions makes these billet 3.5. They make them in 3 inch and 3.5, and they're like 1D. So this is a 3.5 tube. It's only 3.5 inches tall, which is almost impossible. Like I'll show you. That's that tube. That's a billet one, and then here's a normal radius 3.5, which worked out perfect here because it kind of hugs around the way I want to be nice and clean. So, and then we got a 5-inch throttle body, and we wanted to do 2 4s. So that meant we have to adapt them up, which Motion makes a 3.5 to 4-inch dual seal adapter, so you don't have to do any. It's all built into the part. Like one side's 3.5 and the other side's 4-inch. Works out pretty awesome. And then now we can take this centerpiece out to get to anything on the front without having to move anything else. The blow-off valves are down below, so they stay on the outside pieces.
So this would be nice. Like, so we have to, when we race this car, we're gonna have to engage the fuel pump here, and then when we start driving the car, we have to disengage it, like the little stub that goes in here. Which whatever, we'll go over that later. But if we didn't have this type of room, which we have a ton of room, right? Like you could have You got a lot of shit going on in here. Tons of room. But if we didn't have this type of room, we could zip this off, two quick pins.
That's it.
This whole pipe comes out, and honestly, if you needed to pull the engine out of the car, this comes off, the engine can come out. You
Right.
pull headers off, and the engine can come out. So I really like this, being able to take this off real easy. If you got to, if you have to access an alternator or the oil pump or whatever, if this is in your way. But honestly, I don't have the smallest arms, and I can fit all up in here, which that was kind of the point of this car. You know what I mean, right? Yep. This chassis of having this much space up there for it. So.
Yeah, we don't want to work on them, but that's kind of part of it. You're always working on it, and that's when that's the case, and you recognize that, you want it to be easier to work on. That's the thing. You don't want to have to fight yourself. And then it's not always possible to make them super easy, but that, like I said, that's part of this chassis, being a bigger chassis, longer wheelbase car. And if you don't know, typically, so this is a longer wheelbase car, and if you look at a Mustang from the side, it's hard to see. It's not, that tire's not further back from the door. Your wheelbase is added right here, so between the A-pillar and where this strut is. So that's why we have all this room now to put the turbos here, which gave us tons of space, not having to fight the turbos in the front, headers going to the front, so it just really cleaned up the front of the engine. It does put a little more heat back here on our firewall, which we're working through that now, just how to minimize all that. That's really the only thing on this setup that's kind of different from the other one, is just instead of the heat being way out in front, it's kind of closer to the firewall, which it's a trade-off we want, because now we don't got all this weight hanging off of the front. For performance-wise, it's going to be way better at the track, just getting the weight behind basically the center of the spindle.
Yeah. So before, we had a problem, not a problem, but like we had a lot of heat, and we had to fight to try to keep the engine cool, right? Not really, we didn't fight. We had a good radiator and a whole cooler. I mean, it worked fine. But we always drove with the hood off because, one, it's easier to just look if there's a problem when you pull up to a gas station. That's part of the reason for this, right? Is to be able to just slide this front clip off at a gas station real quick, slide it back on, make sure everything's good, whatever. But now what we're going to have to fight, instead of having heat, getting the engine hot, coolant hot, oil hot, yada yada, is going to be keeping underneath the hood cool. So like radiant heat is going to be the fight now. So we've been talking about a couple different options, and if you own one of those companies that makes that really baller, welded on, little dimpled Inconel sleeving stuff, and you want me to be really happy and use your stuff, reach out to us and let us know, because that might be the way that we go with this. That might be the move for this. So I don't know. We'll see. We're probably still going to coat them, maybe not. I don't know. I looked at a clear coating because I don't want to cover them because they look good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they look too good to cover.
That does suck about the heat coatings, is they're either black or silver, and they just kill the look of the bare stain or raw stainless looks awesome.
Yeah, especially once it gets like a little bit more heat in it, like right through here, it looks killer. So don't want to coat it, but I don't know what we're gonna do. So
but we've also we've finished the radiator setup. It's got the new shroud, the 19 fan bolted up. It's pretty simple little setup. It actually works really well. It's on, I think we talked about them before, but we got
little rubber mounts.
Yeah, we got little rubber pieces and receiver grooves, and just tried to make it simple but more reliable. We got the water pump, and then we went ahead and we did the oil cooler. So it's a full street car. Got the big radiator, big stock style fan, and then we went ahead, since we're doing the M1 tank up front this go around, we tried to make it large as possible. I mean, we might have to make it larger. I think it's good for now, but we'll see. But I also didn't want to block off fan, so that's why we curved it and kind of just where it doesn't do any resistance, more or less.
One of the big things with heat is not necessarily just always getting the air through it, but it's also getting the air out of it. So, we got some friends that do aero work, and the more and more you talk to them, the more and more they're like, getting the heat out is more of a problem than getting the cool air in. So, that's a bridge we're going to cross when we get there. But also show them the alternator.
Oh yeah, so we got it kind of, it's not done yet, but we got that transfer truck alternator on here. I think this thing's like 400 amps.
It was for the subs in the back of the amp.
Right.
We needed it. I got what did we get? We got a 215s in the trunk.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a big amplifier. So you need the big alternator.
But yeah, we're just tabbing it, and then we'll have a tensioner off of the bottom side of it. Just trying to keep it simple. I mean, that's the key to this stuff, in my opinion, is keeping it simple, easy to use. The more complicated you make stuff, the harder it is to deal with it and to work with if something does arise on the road or at the track.
And before everybody jumps in the comments, this is a special ordered alternator that's counterclockwise rotation. So don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's gonna happen. Like, everybody's gonna be in the comments, be like, "Well, you can't spin the alternator backwards." We can.
If you think
still
about
works.
It, right.
You can still spin it backwards. It's just
the
cooling fan is designed differently, right? So this is a custom ordered alternator. If this is something that you're interested in, we carry them at my business at HCR Innovations. But
it's got a different fan and a reverse thread nut.
Yeah, reverse thread nut. Yeah, exactly. So the shaft is tapped or threaded differently, and then also something that's also a little different, right? Is that we had to go to a cog belt for this because it's 245 amp.
Yeah.
So
we had a V belt on it before, and it just won't hold the load. For
no. Like basically anything over about 180 amp is what PowerMaster says is we start slipping a V belt. So we had to go to a cog belt for it because I didn't want to deal with a serpentine because.
They walk off pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
We've been down that road before.
After the convertible, years and years ago.
Yeah, it's been many years ago. That was like, it didn't matter how fast it was. Like, hell yeah, the belt stayed on.
Yeah. It didn't matter. Looking for a win in anything, because if that belt stayed on, I was happy. So, it's we're not doing a cert belt ever again. Cogs or V's or whatever. So, but yeah, we had to go to that because of the amperage draw. So the amperage count.
But yeah, we also got I didn't show that, but we got the travel sensors on the front, the race pack travel sensors. It actually worked out perfect. We planned it perfect. Got a tab off of those limiters. Just added a tab at the bottom. Nice and linear to that. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else we got going on up here. We're mostly wrapped up here. That's just, like I said, finishing the alternator mount, tabbing it. We got to make a mount to take some of the load off of the water pump. We don't want stuff bouncing. That's the thing. It's like just going. These things are horse and buggies going down the road. So. Yeah. You want to make them as strong as possible, just where welds don't break. And
this stuff will loosen up.
Right.
Like this will loosen up if you just let it go. So you got to kind of mount something, to hold the back of this, to hold the load, to stop it from twisting. So.
I'm trying to think of what else we got here. Like I said, there's not a whole lot.
We're gonna do the coils.
Yeah, I got to do coils under here and that was the other thing. Obviously, we got the EGTs here. We're gonna do coil mounts underneath the kind of the cowlish area. I'll be able to route that together pretty easily and not have to worry about. The only thing I'm trying to think of, Turbo's kits is done maybe, besides might need some 1/8 inch MPTs for back pressure or something. I don't have any of that. Just whatever you gonna
going out.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That's a funny one. A lot of people get worried about it. It's like, well, what are you gonna do? Right? So with a twin turbo big block, what are you gonna do? If back pressure's too high, what do you do? Go to a bigger turbo.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to me, I don't. That probably don't matter. We're probably not going down that road with this car.
Yeah, I think. But this
oil pump will be here this week from Fluidworks.
Yep.
Because of the way you were able to mount the turbos, we don't have to use a scavenge section. So we're going to be doing just a single.
Yeah, it had
stage.
It's always ran external wet, single stage, but we had a scavenge section on it with the convertible because they were way down here in the front, so we had to scavenge the oil off of them. So we're trying to take stuff off of it. Less parts to tear up. Not that we had any problems out of that part, but just one less thing, less lines. We don't have to run those, back and forth. So just trying to make things more simple.
Yeah, the easier this thing is, and the less hoses we got to run, the less it weighs. The less pump sections we have, the less it weighs. The less stuff there is to leak or whatever. So the less crap you put in these cars, the less it weighs. That's the easiest way to look at it. So. And
just imagine how happy Henry Ford would be looking at this setup.
Yeah. I mean, this is what he really wanted. You know what I mean? This is what his vision really, really was. But unfortunately, back then, people just didn't want to see the Ford progression. You know what I mean? And here we are. Henry's very happy, I'm sure. He does not like that Coyote at all. He hates it. He said, way more chains than brains. I ain't interested. You can read it on his tombstone. He said it.
So I think y'all saw Devin made a rendering post. We had a ton of comments on it. So it's going to be white. If you didn't know that already.
Yeah.
It's going to be white.
Yeah.
So we're still working on a name though. So
Yeah.
anybody comment on that if you got any ideas? Still, like I said, it's going to be white, black wheels, trimmed out in black. Yeah, that's the other thing on this front end. I'll kind of show you guys that. We're going to try to make this look as factory as possible, honestly. I mean, obviously it's not factory, it's aftermarket one piece, but we want this sealed up going down the track just for air. That's one of the biggest benefits of this car compared to the convertible is we've got a big aero advantage here. So I'm making this out of carbon fiber, and we're going to make this with 1/4-inch Zeus's so we can take that out for street driving. That way it gets airflow. We're going to try to make something, a grill to go in its place
Like that.
for the street driving, just so it doesn't look ghetto and half-assed, basically.
Yeah.
We like stuff to look finished.
Yeah,
So-
like this has got to get like what we were talking about yesterday. Like this has got to get painted.
Yeah, we're
Right.
gonna-
Like this is gonna be black
splitter,
down here, so
yep.
it looks like a splitter. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll do some stickers for the fog lights or something. You know what I mean? Something. It's got to look.
Yeah, and we'll probably do another carbon inlay in here just to match that, and got to make it pop really well against the white.
Yeah, it's just got to like look right. You know what I mean? And then whatever the name is, maybe we put that in a sticker right here. You know what I
Right.
mean? So.
Yeah, we suck at names, so
Yeah.
they usually just fall into place in their laps and happen like it did with the Vert. So it kind of, so if you, like I said, if you got any ideas, put them in the comments.
I'll send you free T-shirts if it's a good name.
Let's hear that. Free T-shirts if it's a good name.
Yeah, if it's a good name, and if we pick your name, we'll send you a bunch of free T-shirts and stuff. So.
This was another one Josh came up with.
Oh, man.
Playing on the drug coyote theme.
Yeah, between coyote and peyote, it went over pretty well. Everybody that has a coyote was really a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending me hate messages. Really enjoyed that.
So we're almost wrapped up in the front end. I mean, like I said, there's just a couple little things, not anything big. So after that, we're going to kind of switch gears, and we got to start. We've been laying out electronics. So we got to finish doing the sheet metal in here to close off the tunnel, and then we're going to start laying in electronics and getting this streetcar interior finished out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think
The luxury.
I think we're going to do the seats in ostrich, right? Wasn't that the plan?
Right.
Yes. I think we're going to do those in ostrich. And then we're swapping out. This one's got to go too. This has got to go. I got that new footprint gas pedal coming. So, that's why we can't go out with it yet. We ain't got that footprint gas pedal. We did finally get some really nice valve stem caps.
Oh yeah.
They were sent in.
Yeah, our buddy Luke pierced us with one of these bad boys.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so.
That was the long dong one there. He had some shorter ones. I told him that wasn't gonna work.
Mm-hmm. Well, this was to pay homage for the coyote guys that were upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 2 scale.
Yeah, 2 scale. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Had a little motivation on there still.
Yeah, that's still there. Mm-hmm. And for anybody that doesn't know, Brett and I are friends.
Right.
It's like we just went to dinner last week, and we're friends. Like we talk a good bit. Like we get along great.
Yeah.
This is literally like he's the man to beat right now.
Yeah.
So like this is why you do this, right? So you don't sit on the internet and cry.
Right. If you guys knew how hard those guys work to make their program what it is, same here. I mean, there's so much respect for them dudes. They put in so much work. I mean, they really do test, and it shows. That's why the car runs like it is.
Yeah. It'd probably go 4s in the quarter if it had a big block. Right. So I'm grateful that like he's so dedicated to the Coyote, because like if it had a big block Chevrolet in it, the thing would just go 5s in the quarter by accident.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
What did
Oh yeah.
More streetcar stuff. I forgot about these. Just saw it. Got those.
Got them air filters.
Got them air filters for the street driving with that fake carbon fibre on the front.
Oh yeah. Hey, we went 227 with the flat panels. I bet you we'd go 235 with these bad boys.
Yeah, we got a pair of those made up, so street driving will be good to go.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
Shaping up. So what'd you say, you'd be done around Tuesday?
Yeah, should be.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Maybe not this Tuesday.
No,
but Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know it's coming together.
No, you're flying on it. So,
this is the super sexy stuff here. So after that, we'll do updates, but it ain't gonna be as sexy. But it's kind of more tech side intricacy, small things that from here on out, just stuff that's got to be done to bring it all together.
Well, that's the part that's most important. Everybody gets fancy. Everybody gets excited about the fancy shiny, but the reality of it is that the turbo kit's the turbo kit. Once it's in there, it's in there. There's going to be stuff that we don't have to really mess with this. You know what I mean? But when you're driving down the road, It's the stuff that's inside.
Right.
It's the stuff like the water pump mounting. That's important to me. The alternator, that's important to me because you don't want to be driving down the road and kick a belt, or this rattle loose. Now you're driving through your own water. That's the stuff to me that means a lot more than this. This is, you know, great to look at. It's gorgeous, sure, but when it comes to functionality, this is the stuff that really matters, you know. So, and not hating your life driving down the road.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Yep, but I guess that's a good place to stop. So we'll do another one next week or week after when we get a little more progress done. We should be getting really close into next week on most of the stuff. But so we'll get the insides, kind of our next goals, and kind of knocking out most of the inside, and then we got a few things on the bottom side and in the back to wrap up, and then it should be about ready to go to paint. But
so if you heard that, Jake, we're going to need you to finish up the old converter coupe and then be ready for this after you do Derek's stuff. So.
But I guess until next time, we'll see you guys later. Thank you.